Germany attack. Well, isn't it just gross how like the USA and its allies can like bomb hundreds of people in Gaza every single day, massacring them in droves because of their race? However, there is like one attack in a Western country, and it is front page news forever for the rest of time. Like, you would never see this sort of coverage, like wall-to-wall coverage for that sort of thing, if you even see it mentioned. Honestly, the best you might get is like a footnote mention that doesn't actually ascribe blame for it to anyone in particular. And if it ascribes blame to anyone, it would probably be like the victims for bringing it upon themselves. But this attack was apparently committed by like an ex-Muslim, like a Saudi ex-Muslim who moved to Germany in 2006. And he really liked Elon Musk. He really liked Donald Trump. He really liked Alternative for Germany, like the Nazi party basically in Germany these days. He really hated Muslim immigrants. And funnily enough, the reason why he carried out the attack, based on his social media, appears to be that he believed that Germany was Islamizing Europe by allowing too many Muslim refugees in. And his solution to that was to like ram his car into a crowd of people at a Christmas market. That's a pretty interesting decision to make. But I think what's more important about this, aside from, the people dying and stuff, is what this is going to reveal about Western racism. Because you're about to find out, if it hasn't already happened, which it might well have, that it's not actually about Islam at all. It's not actually about religion. It's about race. It's about colonial status. It's about proximity to whiteness. And there's this massive, massive current among like ex-Muslims, like not all of them, but the ones who like make it their entire identity to be an ex-Muslim are pretty sus a lot of the time. These people, most of the time, they are desperately trying to be white. The reason why they are ex-Muslims is not so much because, they hate Islam. It's more because Islam is a religion that is mostly associated with, the wretched of the earth, people who are actively victims of imperialism, colonized directly or indirectly. So by renouncing Islam, whether it's a conscious thing or not, they believe that they are bringing themselves closer to whiteness. And people like this, however, end up finding that as much as they try to bring themselves closer to whiteness, he's a Saudi in the first place. He's not even like a colonized person, not even really one of the people that I'm talking about. But still, they still see Saudis as like allies, but also like allies to keep at an arm's length, allies of convenience rather than allies of values. So you get guys like this who decide, I want to be like a part of this superior Western society, and the best way that I can possibly get closest to being a part of the privileged majority in these sorts of societies is by renouncing this religion that is associated with the people who are kept down so that they can economically live comfortable lives. And then they do that, they do everything they possibly can to integrate into these societies, spreading hate against those sorts of people. This one was even like a supporter of like the German Nazi parties who themselves use Islam as like a cover for their racism against mostly Arabs, but also all third world people in general. Like, you can just think for 2 seconds. Would they be happy with refugees if they were Black Christians from Africa? Would they be happy with the refugees then? I'm pretty sure they wouldn't. So let's just say that it's obvious what the real game is here. And this guy goes there, he like supports like all the right wingers, he supports all the the AfD, Alternative for Germany, like their far right sort of Nazi anti non-white party. He brings himself as close to whiteness as possible. And what he's still going to end up finding is that it's not actually, and him and others are going to end up finding, is that it's not actually about Islam at all. It's about race, colonial status, proximity to the people who are supposed to be kept at arm's length. These people, for Germans, for Westerners, colonized people are like villains in movies and series and video games. You're not supposed to see them out in the street. You're not supposed to see them walking among you. You're supposed to keep them as far away as possible, out of sight, out of mind, until it's time to look at like the footnote news story where they are being massacred by your country or its allies for your benefits. That's what it's all about. Doesn't matter whether they're Islam, whether they're Muslim, doesn't matter whether they're ex-Muslim, doesn't matter whether they're Christian, doesn't matter whether they're atheist, doesn't matter none of it matters. The crux of it is that. And it's funny because this also, of course, comes with the contradiction in the fact that Western countries need migrants because otherwise they would completely collapse, because obviously as your country becomes richer and richer, as that sort of thing spurs like more rights for women, as everyone's living standard rises, everyone gets more and more educated comparatively, birth rates go down. So you need immigrants. And you also paradoxically need to ensure that those countries where the immigrants are coming from are kept as poor as possible so that those people keep immigrating. So the immigrants come and they need them, but they also hate that they need them. Because it's either that or they start having kids, which, you know, what do you need, like two kids, 2.5 children per woman? Who the fuck wants to do that, honestly, unless it's like a matter of like poverty or lack of education. No one wants to shit out 2.5 children per woman, okay? So the solution to that is to import migrants so that when they get old, they're actually people to keep the economy running, and they don't end up just dying in a nursing home with no one to care for them. Not even in a nursing home, because there wouldn't be people to run the nursing home. And yet they still hate them. And yet they still hate that the immigrants come. They still hate that these immigrants who are created by them, by their country's actions, by their demand for imperial super profits. They still hate that they come for obvious reasons. So what you're going to see about this, and I'm pretty sure what you're already seeing in some cases, is that it's not about Islam. This guy is going to be like demonized as like an Arab immigrant. He's going to be used to show that you can't even trust the supposed good ones, and be used to justify like excluding all of them either officially or like sort of like extra officially, you know, like when they want to exclude you but they don't want to like put it into writing, you know, like the separate but equal sort of thing in like US segregation, where like by the letter of the law people were supposedly equal but everyone fucking knows that wasn't actually the case. Like to keep them out without making it like literally written into law that you're keeping them out. You know, not even the good ones are good enough. You know, not even like a Saudi doctor, like a Saudi doctor, ex-Muslim, who tried so desperately to become white that he like supported Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and like the neo-Nazi party. Even he can't be trusted. None of them can be trusted. And that is going to be the narrative going forward. Can't trust any of them. It's a mask-off moment because, as I said, it is all about the hatred of colonized third world immigrants first and foremost. Nothing else. It's never been about Islam. That's why the same people who hate Muslim immigrants hate all immigrants all the time.